Did you ever think about buying a shiny gold bar? Maybe you're wondering why the price of gold is so high. Have you seen during the Great Recession of the late 2000s that gold prices went from $800 an ounce to $1,900 an ounce in 2 years? In this video, I'm going to go over all of this, as well as if this is a good time to buy precious metals like gold and silver. How much returns do I think gold is going to be giving us over the next few years, and I'm going to be revealing my biggest investment / purchase that I have ever made. Make sure that you watch the entire video till the end, because I'm going to be giving out information that you won't be necessarily seeing in mainstream media or news outlets. Now let's get right into this video. If you're new here, my name is Sulaiman, and on this channel I talk about personal finance and investing. So if you're interested in topics like this, consider hitting the subscribe button so you can watch all my videos. Also, make sure to hit that like button down below. It's really going to help out this video and other people going to get to see it. And it took me 3 tries to make this video because I was having problems with my iPhone storage. Have you guys ever bought a gold bar? Well, let me tell you right now, you're going to be paying $1,800 an ounce for a shiny piece of rock. Well, isn't that the point of gold? Actually, yes it is. Gold is what they consider a store of value because it does not lose much of its value over time. In fact, gold prices keep going up, but gold does not become more valuable. It is the US dollar that has been losing its value for the past 100 years. In fact, since 1913, the US dollar has lost over 90% of its value. Yes, let that sink in. Over 90%. That is why it is a good idea to have your money in the right place at the right time. And in an economic crisis, that is one of the best times to have your money in gold. Typically during times like this, you will see that the Federal Reserve is doing plenty of work to make sure that the economy stays afloat. They'll be buying any type of bonds and any type of assets to make sure that they can keep the economy stabilized, so that interest rates and inflation and unemployment rates are at the rate that they want them to be. If you watched my video on hedging against inflation over here, you will see that why I think the prices of gold will be increasing over the next few years. I showed you the money supply increasing for the past 6 months and the Federal Reserve just buying up junk bonds, corporate debt, literally any assets that they can think of. And now they're thinking of buying up stocks, which is pretty insane. You can see here that during the Great Recession, the Fed printed trillions of dollars to buy bonds and assets, and the gold price actually increased from $900 an ounce to early 2009 to almost $1,800 an ounce in 2011, just 2 years. Other reasons for gold prices to increase are hyperinflation. You can see in the 70s where inflation was at an all-time high that gold prices skyrocketed. They went from $40 an ounce in 1970 to almost $800 an ounce by 1980. The problem was that there was also an oil crisis going on because of OPEC not selling oil to the USA, as well as Nixon actually took off the gold standard from the US dollar, and that also helped boost gold price. From taking off the US dollar from the gold standard, the public was actually once again able to buy gold and possess it for the first time since FDR took it off and took it from the hands of the people. So these are some of the past recessions and economic crises that have happened in history and that have shown that gold prices actually start to increase either during or after during these crises. But I believe because of the trillions of dollars in asset buying by the Fed, the economy is completely in shambles and the stock market is like very overvalued. I believe gold is a really safe investment and a great alternative to cash right now. That is why I made this huge investment and the biggest purchase of my life, buying this 100-gram gold bar. Now it's equivalent to 3.5 ounces, so you can see it here. So here's a close-up look of what the gold bar actually looks like. It's actually really shiny, which I didn't really expect it to be this shiny, but this is upside down. It says 100 grams, 99.99% gold, of course, and the company or brand, I guess, is Velcambi Swiss, which I really don't know what it means, but let's do a quick weigh-in right here. I have my scale so I can show you how much it actually weighs. It's supposed to be 100 grams, and I have it set to grams right now, so I'm gonna put it on the scale. So 104 grams, which makes sense because it's actually in a plastic. But now let's talk about why I bought this and what I think is going to be happening to gold over the next few years. So I bought this 100-gram gold bar from JMBullion. You can check out their website, and I'm going to put the link down below if you're interested in buying precious metals from their website. They sell things like gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. So you can check those out if you're interested in it. I want to talk a little bit more about the JMBullion website. When I made the order, it actually takes 5 days to process the payment, which I don't really understand, but that's how it went. And also, if you do want to pay with your debit card, or you could also pay by Bitcoin, and there's a few other methods of payment, but they do charge you more. There's a slight fee for paying with these other forms of payment, and bank account is going to get you the best rate. And I believe that's because when you pay through like a debit card, there's a processing fee, so you're probably going to end up paying 2 to 3% more, which is huge if you're purchasing in the thousands. But the USPS mailman just left this on my doorstep. Now I know he probably wasn't told that he has to get a signature or anything, but JMBullion should make sure that if somebody's ordering a gold bar, something valuable as this, that they should be making sure that the person or somebody at the door is signing for the product and they're not just leaving it on the doorstep. But I got this gold bar for $5,750, which is 100 grams, and I think it comes out to close to 3.5 ounces. So that means that I got this gold bar for around $16.50 per ounce, and at the time of purchase, the rate was actually around $17.50 per ounce. I guess since I bought a larger size, they give me a discount. But right now, this gold bar is actually selling on the same website for around $59.50. So it's about $200 more since I bought it, which is a good sign. Now, if I did sell the gold bar right now, I don't know if I would get the full $59.50, but it's a good sign that gold prices have gone up over the past few weeks. Actually, I only got it last week, so within 1 week, a $200 price increase is pretty good. I did a lot of research before I made this purchase, as I always do with any of my investments, and I looked at all the data, and I looked at a bunch of different information, and I got some information from professionals in the industry who are also pretty bullish about gold right now. So that is one of the main reasons that I made this purchase and investment of a gold bar. As a beginner investor, it's always a good idea to learn from people who are professionals and have a ton of experience in the industry, like I did with my Zoom stock. In this video, I showed you that I actually got the recommendation for a Zoom stock from the Motley Fool, which is an established and successful website, and they give recommendations on stocks like that all the time. So this is another time that I actually got this recommendation from some professionals in the industry, and they're also pretty bullish about this investment. Okay, now let's talk about the numbers and my predictions on what I think is going to happen with gold over the next few years. So my plan with this gold bar is actually to hold it for 1 to 2 years, and I'm actually expecting an annual rate of return for about 30%. Now I know that's very optimistic, but as I've seen during the past recessions, that is actually the average rate of increase for gold during those times. Now, why do I say 1 to 2 years? Because I feel like the United States economy after 1 to 2 years will probably be in good shape, and also that I want to cash out and use this money for other investments or projects that I would be interested in. Now, if the economy does stay really bad shape, then I might even hold it for longer. Usually that's not the case with my investments. I'm not very patient with my investments. But if the economy is not doing well, gold prices are continuing to increase, then there's no reason for me to not hold. Because if you've seen gold prices during the 2000 decade, where the stock market actually had 0% return over that decade, you saw gold prices were actually skyrocketing. So there has been news where Ray Dalio actually is expecting a lost decade type scenario, and the IMF also said that in order for the GDP, it's going to take 1 whole decade for it to return to normal levels. So it's also something I'll be looking out for. You can also look into buying gold or even silver, and always make sure to do your own research and don't trust some guy on YouTube giving advice which I'm not really giving any advice, I'm just giving out my opinion and information on it. But it's also a good reference to have in the future what you thought might happen and what happened. Therefore, in the future, you can actually use this for your other investments. This is my first time buying physical gold, and I actually kind of missed out on the March lows when gold dropped to $1,400 an ounce, and right now it's like $1,750, almost $1,800 an ounce, which would have been a return of about 15 to 20% already in the first few months. The interesting thing is the stock market actually tanked and gold prices also tanked, which makes you wonder what was the reason for gold also dropping. Now, I believe it was probably the fear of everyone. They were panicking, and that was the reason for gold prices to drop. But it's also something to know and research on why gold prices would actually also drop so drastically, as well as the stocks. Now, I don't think that's going to happen again, but I'm also going to be looking out for that. Another thing I continue to stress, like I did in my other video, was silver. Investing in silver is actually also a good opportunity, and I'm also considering investing in silver right now. But every time I go look at the prices, it feels like they're selling it at a premium of like $22 an ounce, but the spot rates are going for less than 18. So I'm still looking into that, and you should also consider silver. Like I've said before, silver to gold ratio or gold to silver ratio is 100 to 1, and it's like at an all-time low. And now let's talk about the information that I was talking about, the sneak peek information that you're not going to be seeing on news outlets and mainstream media. Let's talk about that now. Okay, so the inside scoop that I got from somebody was that there was a record delivery or order of gold in the last month, equating to 2.8 million ounces of gold. That is around $4 to $5 billion worth of gold, and it comes out to like 88 tons. Now, I'm going to put the link down below showing you the order, and you can see that there is a ton of major banks and institutions that made these orders. Now, it says futures and stuff like that, which I also didn't understand, but there's somebody that I know who actually gave me this information, and he's a professional in the industry, and he told me that there was a massive order of gold, and this could be a really good sign, a bullish sign. If major institutions like this are making an order like this, then you should see that there's a good chance that the dollar is going to be devalued, and gold is a really good option to have right now. So actually, let's go over some of this orders, and let's look at some of the companies and how much they ordered. And you can see here that the order delivery, this is kind of like a receipt, I guess, and I didn't really understand much of the information myself, but I have gold typed in here, and I believe that the number over here, which in the June columns, means the number of ounces that were ordered. So you can see here Morgan Stanley gold futures, 1,100 ounces. Okay, who else we got here? CME, 3,000 ounces. It says a lot of these are futures, so possibly there's orders will be fulfilled in the future, but it's also something to note. More COMEX 100 gold futures, you can see here. Goldman Sachs, a big corporation right here, 4,400 ounces or 400 ounces in the month of June. You can see in all these previous months nothing was actually ordered. Oh, down here you could see that yes, Goldman Sachs had been making some orders, but 1,000 in what is this, previous December, 7 in January. Like you can see in June that the number has just drastically jumped, and maybe this is a really good sign. Who knows? 8,900 ounces. To me, this is actually a good sign, because I always like to follow the big boys because they always have information ahead of us. They're like 4 to 5 steps ahead, so it's a good way to follow them. Let's see who else we got here. Nobody else that I know here. Let's go to the next page, and 1,700 HSBC, pretty big bank, international bank. Anybody else? Next, gold. I just have the gold word searched in this page, and the big one that we all want to know about, JP Morgan Securities. You can see here that the massive order that they made of 22,000 ounces, 23,000 ounces, and it says 25,000 ounces as well down here, which I don't know if they made 2 orders, but if you do the math, 25,000 ounces ordered equates to around $45 million. And again, I still don't really understand exactly what these numbers mean, but you can just see the major and huge jump from 5,000 here to 20,000 here. So I'm pretty bullish about this, and I'm pretty excited about this. It's going to be interesting to see what will happen with gold over the next few years. Just want to tell you, you're not going to find this link or information anywhere, so make sure you go into the description down below to read this yourself. And thanks for watching this video. That's the end of this video. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Comment down below if you think that you're going to be investing in gold anytime soon, because I believe that it's still a good time and it's early to make this jump on gold right now.